garbage from the world and the ocean ends up there.
Still, even right now, I
So
know
it's
that
full of plastic and crap. It's awful. You have to pack it up and ship it out.
Welcome back. Wonderful afternoon does continue on, and wonderful events. Good stuff coming up at the Coptic Center as we enter into the autumn months more so. October, November. Mark your calendars for one of our Sunday experiences I'd like to promote. It's November 11th. There's a story of Master Hamid Bey years ago that is quite profound that Director John Davis will be sharing with you. And it's a powerful day of energies and transformations and new beginnings. It's 11/11, and the ones represent the four sides of the pyramid: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And that's a special gathering that we do have, and it happens to fall on a Sunday this year. So that'll be Sunday.
Mitch, there's no challenges on that day.
Would you like to share some more, John?
Yes.
Okay.
As you all know, I'm a numerologist. And I've broken a major code here. Happens to be November 11th of this year. And when you break 1 and 1 equals 2, 1, 1 equals 2, 1, 1 equals 2, you look for the challenges of a day. 2 minus 2 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. No challenges on that day. Total new beginning. New beginning in the physical, mental, emotional, and there's three of them left. Three levels of the spiritual. It's on that day. And if you are interested in this, we have a session here that we're going to have a special day, a special ceremony. If you can't, you can't make it, sit down, write your personal, because it's not only planetary, it's personal. Write your personal goals down, your family goals down, and your planetary goals down. This happens once every 9 years. The last one was November 11th of 2009. This is so important, it's unbelievable. And when I broke that code, I knew I had to do something about it. So what I've done, some people I've sent emails to, I'll be sending an email out to everybody about it, and we're going to have a special session here. But this is serious stuff. We talk about a new beginning for the planet. This is it. It's so rare. So in our hands is an opportunity to fulfill what we came to do. We were going to be given this information now. And we will have a role in changing the course of planetary history. Why? It's a science. A science, it's nothing to do with psychic ability or anything. It's flat out science. So not only do it for yourself, mention to other people in your family or anything, but just take that day, think about it, write it down, and say those goals for all of humanity, for you and your family. I can't overemphasize how important this is. So thank you, Mike, for giving me the opportunity to share this with them. So, God bless.
November 11th is just a powerful day of different energies, and it's part of the lineage of the Coptic Fellowship with Master Hamid Bey. And I hope, John, you tell that story of Master Hamid Bey a little.
I wrote a book on it.
You did.
Told the story, told the book.
The incredible aspects of our founder, not only could he manifest different things within his body and pierce his body without bleeding and put himself in suspended animation. The story, my experiences preceding 5,000 Burials, well, if you're joining us for the very first time, get this book. It highlights Master Hamid Bey and who the man is and who the Coptics are and in the aspects of a little boy that was drawn into the mystery schools of ancient Egypt. And it talks about going out on begging missions and showing humility of a little boy for food. And within the masters of the temple, they sent him out on different challenges of this with encouragement. And then at the end, when he didn't get the food when he was begging. One of the stories, the masters did give him food and encouraged him to the point of other stories as well of piercings and it's a fascinating story within this book about where him and his students, his fellow students, focused and had concentration with the meditation where they actually levitated, and other parts where one of his tests to swim the Nile by Komombo that Pamela was just talking about, where he crossed the River Nile and there was infested with crocodiles, and he was able to swim across that safely, where unfortunately some of his fellow students did not make it across. So part of the teachings of the Coptic Fellowships are not so much about piercing our bodies and swimming with crocodiles, but it's looking at the positive things that we can transform within us in a very safe way. And just wonderful stories about Master Hamid Bey, and his part of his missions to come to the world here in the U.S. was to bring about the teachings of self-mastery, of diet, exercise, meditation, the core essence of what brought him to be able to do physical things within his life, in his body, and walk on beds of nails. And we have photos of that as well. So, just wanted to share that. It's a wonderful book, and it's part of the book in our leadership training class, level 1, and we delve into that further as a class. So, as you consider perhaps taking leadership training level 1, that's a book you want to pick up today, and it's got a good flavor of the Coptic Fellowship through Master Hamid Bey and his story, where it all began. So that takes us to not the finale yet, but a wonderful presenter, videographer, a good friend, the AV guy, him and his wife Linda. Linda plays the piano and the keyboard on our Sunday evening experience as we sing together, but Alan Tutt is presenting next, and he's come across this aspect of prayer that he's going to be sharing with you that is pretty profound in my eyes, and I hope you believe that too, and experience that as he presents his harmonic prayer workshop a little bit. It's not so much the workshop, but it's an overview of that today. He has a book on that, and a little bit more about Alan. He's a wonderful author. He focuses on belief, and one of Master Hamid Bey's trademark words he always spoke in his talks is, "I believe." With his Egypt accent, it was, "I believe." And I've heard John say it over the years too, and a lot of us, and it was true. The power of belief is so strong. Alan has a book, Choose to Believe, Harmonic Prayer and Prosperity from Inside Out. He has a unique perspective on what it takes to manifest things you want in your life, having performed a variety of confirmed miracles, including stopping a tornado and manifesting found money. So that goes hand in hand from some cool experiences. This afternoon, may we welcome Alan Tutt as he presents Manifesting Miracles with Harmonic Prayer. Alan.
Thank you for that great introduction. Okay, this has been a wonderful day. We've had so many great presenters, great music. We've had quite an experience. And I really want to thank all of those people who were involved in putting this together. And why don't we all just give all of them a hand? This has been a wonderful experience for all of us. And I also want to thank each and every one of you for being here, whether you're one of those putting it together or not, simply because having all of your energy here helps make this event even more special, because as each person brings their energy together, it creates a group energy, and there's a dynamic involved in that group energy that would not be the same if any one of you were not here. So I want to thank you for being here. I also want to congratulate you for taking the time to invest in your own self-development, your own self-growth, and your own future. Events like this have been some of the most powerful events in my experience, simply because you hear so many different ideas coming from different people, and they all express those ideas in different ways. And sometimes all it takes is one idea expressed the right way to completely change your life. And I can't tell you how many times I've run across an idea that I've heard 100 times before, But because it was expressed in a different way at a different time in my life, I took it completely different. It had a whole new meaning for me. And while I won't presume that my presentation today will have that kind of effect on you, I will do my best. So, the topic today, the idea of the whole event, Mysteries of Ancient Egypt. And it has been proven many different ways that the ancient Egyptians knew things that have long since been forgotten. They knew how to do things that we have trouble comprehending. How in the world could they have built those pyramids? They were so huge, and as Pam was pointing out, those stones, 2.5 tons each and more. How in the world did they move those stones into place? How did they lift them into position? And as Pete was saying, there is a common theory that humans could not have done it. It had to have been aliens. They teleported those stones into place. And while I will not contradict that idea, I mean, I wasn't there. Anybody was there? Was anybody else there? Okay, I got one person who was there. I want to talk to you after. But I wasn't there, so I don't know. So I can't say that it wasn't done one way or another. But what I can say is that that is just one of those ideas that at first, when we think about it, it seems impossible. How in the world could that possibly have been done? And I will say that in preparation for this talk, I went online, I did some research. What are some of those different theories? Because I know there's a bunch of different theories. And there are some people who say, yeah, it could have been done, but it would have taken 100,000 people to build those pyramids in the period of time that it's been recorded that they were built in. And other people say, well, again, it couldn't have been done by humans. It had to have been either aliens or giants. That was another theory. There were a race of giants that were helping to lift those stones into position. Well, I don't know about you, but I have not yet heard of any archaeologist digging up a skeleton from someone that's more than our normal, maybe 6 foot, 7 foot tall, but I haven't heard of any giants being discovered. But what's interesting is that this task that we think is so impossible, different teams have actually gone over there. There was one team in particular I was reading about 21 people went over, actually used hand tools to carve out the stones out of the quarries, carve out a stone, get it down, and then they used, again, the tools that they believe were used back then to drag that stone across the sand. And they found that one of the things that has been indicated in the hieroglyphs is that if you wet the sand in front of that stone, it slides a lot easier. And that 2.5 ton stone can be dragged across the sand easily by just 12 people. And by doing the math, they figured out that between quarrying out, cutting the stones, dragging them into position, getting them up ramps, and there's a whole bunch of different theories on what kind of ramps they used. But they calculate out that the pyramid of Khufu, which supposedly was built in 20 years, could have been done with less than 5,000 people. And that just completely blew my mind. Yeah. This impossible task was done with so few people. There's another aspect to this as well, and it's not just the physical aspect of getting those stones into place. There's also the thinking that went into those, because they were done so precisely. Those stones were so well put together, and the alignment of the pyramids themselves. The sides of the pyramid directly between the North and South Pole, which for those of you, I don't know if everyone knows this or not, but the globe over here, if you take a look at the globe and you spin it around, the points, the axis on which that globe spins, that north-south pole axis point is not exactly in line with magnetic north or magnetic south. If you take a compass, it's not going to point you directly to the North Pole. It'll point you a little bit off from that. And yet the ancient Egyptians were able to align their pyramids directly with north-south, with the actual rotation of the earth. And again, that seems like something that would be absolutely impossible. How in the world can primitive people without satellites, without any presence out in space, on the ground, with basic understanding of the world, how could they have possibly figured out where that line was? Well, here again. I'm sorry, what? Luck. Well, actually, that could be. Again, it's like the aliens. It's theoretically possible. It's theoretically possible. Yes, luck does happen once in a while. But again, I looked it up online. What are some of the different theories on some of this? And when I read a description of how it could have been done, here again, we don't necessarily know. None of us were actually there. But one of the ideas on how it could have been done, it's like one of those moments where I'm reading this description. It's like, of course, it makes perfect sense. And I don't know about you, but I've run into a lot of situations in my life where I'm trying to figure something out. It's like, I can't quite solve this problem. It seems impossible. And then all of a sudden, someone gives me the solution. It's like, well, duh. Backward vision is 20/20. You think something is impossible, and then once you know the answer, it turns out to be a lot simpler than you expected it to be. And I know I probably created some curiosity on how that north-south thing was created, so I'm going to give you a short description of it real quick. Okay, if you think about a spinning globe, and we can spin the globe, but you don't even have to see it, you can just imagine it. There are 2 points that are fixed that do not move. And it goes around and around and around. And if you think about one point on the globe, pick a city, pick Grand Rapids, doesn't matter. And if you look at where that point is as that globe spins, it follows a predictable pattern. It moves along the same line each and every time it spins around. And you don't see it the whole way around. You see it through only part of the globe. So it shows up in one spot, it disappears in another spot, and those 2 spots are the same all the time. And because you're looking at the same point on the same globe, the distance between that point where it shows up or disappears is the exact same distance to the pole. Well, if you turn it all around and you imagine that you're the one that's on the ground, and the point up in the sky is also fixed, let's say a star, and you think about where that star shows up on the horizon and where it sets on the horizon, those 2 points are both going to be the same distance from that North Pole. So it's really just a matter of putting a stick in the sand, waiting for the star to show up, put another stick in the sand there, wait for it to go across, put another stick in the sand there, and halfway between points you to the North Pole. It's a simple answer using simple geometry. But here again, it's another example of something that seems impossible actually having a simple answer. And there's a lot of examples that we can go into that, but I only have a few minutes here today, so I'm not going to go through too much detail with you. But what I do want to say is that in terms of manifesting miracles, which is the main idea that I want to talk about today, that is also something that most of us, when we first think about it, when we first hear the idea, it's like, oh, that's impossible. You can't do that. You can't pray for something and just have it manifest for you out of the clear blue sky. You've actually got to be involved with it. Well, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I had a number of experiences where I prayed for something and essentially did absolutely nothing to make it happen, and yet it actually happened. I mean, there are some things where I couldn't have done something like the tornado or just getting rain to show up or to disappear or changing weather patterns to some degree. I didn't really have anything to do with today. I was focused on too many other things. So I wasn't as, yeah, I know. Easy excuse. Okay. So, but there's also the thing about what Michael mentioned, the found money. It's one of the first examples that I found of manifesting miracles, I was in a very tough situation. Many of you have already heard this story. Some of you probably haven't. I was in a very tough situation. I had become homeless. I had been walking the streets all night. And the next morning, I stumbled my way into a bookstore looking for some bit of information that can help turn my life around. And I opened up a book, Joseph Murphy, The Miracle of Mind Dynamics, and he describes a 4-step process of prayer, which his 4 steps are: acknowledge that God is the only power in the universe. There's no power to challenge God, which is actually the 2nd step. Realize that there's no other power that will counter the will of God. The 3rd step is to basically accept that what you are praying for has actually happened or is actually happening. And then the 4th step is to move forward in your life with the joyous expectancy, faith, belief, that you will see the result of your prayer. And that morning, as I'm reading through that book and I'm going through those steps, I'm imagining that I've actually got money in my hand, I've got a place to stay, I've got food to eat. And in that moment, I felt an overwhelming sense of joy rising up within me and a feeling of weight dropping off my shoulders that, yes, this can happen. And because I was so tired from walking the streets all night, I was not thinking about why couldn't it happen or why it may not happen or maybe I have to be involved. Or I wasn't arguing about it. I just simply accepted it. And later that day, I found money on the sidewalk. I'm looking around saying, okay, someone must have dropped this. No one around. Okay, well, thank you. And so I had the money to get a place to stay, get the food, and go back the next day and buy that book. So that was the start on my journey into successful use of prayer. And over the last 35 years, I've tested every which way you can come at this idea. I've tested what degree of focus do I need? How do I need to set my emotions? Do I need to follow a particular diet? Do I need to observe certain activities, like getting up and facing east as the sun rises over the horizon? I mean, there's that idea that's out there. So I've tested a lot of these different ideas, and what I've come to find is that successful prayer is based on 3 simple ideas: faith, focus, and feeling. Now, yeah, we could call them a lot of different things, but I like those words, so we're going to stick with it. The most important one of those is faith, the power of belief. If you believe that something will happen, it will. And that's the core message that you find in the Bible. Jesus Christ was going over and over around saying over and over and over again, according to your faith, is it done to you? Your faith has made you well. There are statements like that all throughout his ministry. Faith is the number one most important thing to getting successful results from prayer. If you don't believe it's going to happen, it probably won't. But faith is not the only thing, because if you don't yet have enough faith, you can build your faith using the focus and the feeling. And the focus, it's not a matter of using willpower to send out this energy that's going to push things into position. The only thing that we have to do with our focus is to communicate a clear idea of what we want. That's it. That's all we have to do, is communicate a clear idea of what we want, so that the divine, whether we want to call it God, whether we want to call it Jehovah, Brahma, whatever we want to call the divine, we can use any name we want. That's part of it. We don't necessarily have to use specific names for the divine in our prayers to make them work. Names don't matter. We don't have to use specific words and phrase it in a particular way, because while the words and phrases help us to become clear about what we want, the words and phrases are not important to the divine. What we imagine within our mind is what is important. So our degree of focus is only about communicating a clear message. Once we have communicated a clear message to the divine the divine manifest our goal for us. Now, like anything else, the communication will be stronger and will travel to the divine easier when we are fully relaxed and when we are in a positive emotional state. Love and gratitude are two ideas that have been talked about several times today. These are very powerful emotions for helping us connect with the divine. Relaxing deeply within ourselves, indulging our positive emotions, these are the ways that we connect with the divine so that our communication, our clear vision of what we would like to manifest can travel easier into that divine state so that it becomes manifest for us. And that really is the bottom line on prayer. Manifesting miracles, even though it may first seem to be impossible, is actually a lot easier than what most people realize. And it's really just implementing these three basic ideas: faith, focus, and feeling. And so what I would like to encourage everyone to do is to think about, if you really can manifest a miracle, what is it that you would like to manifest? Is it something that is personal to you within your own life? Is it something that you would like to help a family member with? Would you like to do something that benefits the whole community that you're in? Or do you have enough audacity to believe that you can actually improve the world, to become a world leader and do something that benefits all of humanity? And I say, there are no limits. You can manifest anything you care to manifest. Now, like building the pyramids, it's a lot easier than you imagine, but it still takes a little bit of work. John likes that one. It's a lot easier than you imagine, but it does take a little bit of work. It may take some time. It may take a few steps to get there. But as long as you hold true in your faith that the ultimate goal can be manifested, it will be manifested. Just maintain the faith, maintain your focus, and maintain a feeling of love and gratitude and other positive emotions to help you stay connected with the divine. Because when you are connected, not only do your prayers go out to become manifested, but communication can come in to guide you to doing the right things at the right times, in the right way, for the right reasons, so that you can become an active participant in your manifestation. And so that is the essence of what I had to say today. I'm going to go ahead and cut it a little bit short so that we can get on with other things. I think everyone is going to have a wonderful rest of the day. One thing I will mention here, though, is that another idea that has been spoken about several times today are the master courses that the Coptic Fellowship offers. And these courses are designed to help you become a true leader in your life, in your community, and in the world. And if you've not yet taken any of those courses, the Level 1 World Service is the first one to take. And I have been asked to become a part of this year's teaching staff for this level. And I know that at least for my own part in what I'm bringing into this, because I do have, 13 years of experience on packaging information for sale through the internet and through other channels, this is one of the things I'm bringing to the courses, helping you to define what is my mission in the world. If I feel like I have a message to share with others, how can I define that message so that other people hear it for what it is, understand the value that I have to offer for them, and take action on what I'm recommending for them? So that's one of the things that I am intending to help the students who do take the Level 1 World Service class this year to actually become an active participant in world improvement, the benefit of humanity, through the dissemination of information. through whatever format you want to do it. And obviously, if you've already taken the World Service level and you want to do the self-discovery, the self-mastery, or the ministerial, I invite you to take any one of those. And if you've already taken World Service but don't care to take one of the others right now, you might want to come back and do the World Service again, because there's going to be some new information, new energy in that one. So I'm going to leave you with that. As Michael said, there's a number of books and things in the library, the bookstore now. A variety of people brought things in. I've got a bunch of stuff in there too, including the workshop that I did in June. So I'll leave you with that. Thank you.
Bravo, Alan, thank you. And thank you, everyone. And those that spoke today do have items of CDs and books. You can still browse and shop in the bookstore. And the wonderful crystal energy that's in the library and bookstore right now, you just walk through there and you just kind of gravitate towards the left and all the way around the one side of the room. So take a look at that before you head out today if you haven't already. I'd like to request, too, if you could take some time to fill out our evaluation questionnaire today. As they should have been part of the handout when you walked in, but feel free to the front table in the meet and greet room. We welcome you to fill that out and offer your suggestions, thoughts, guidance as we move forward. This is a fall conference that we do have annually, along with other activities here at the center. Anything you'd like to hear and see with the presenters, if you have anybody in mind, keep that, because we do offer special guests to come in on Sunday evenings, as well as our Coptic self-discovery graduates and ministers, and even World Service students that have completed the course that do speak on Sunday nights as well. So, would anybody like the evaluation? Okay, very good. So we value your time and energy to do that and complete that for all of our benefit. Speaking of conferences, we do hold another one. We have a sister organization called the Spiritual Unity of Nations. That organization sees the world as one family and does promote world peace. They have an annual conference. It's a once-a-year gathering, and it's for the past 6-7 years now. It's been held here at the Coptic Center. That's coming up later this month, October 27th from 10 to 4. We have the director of that organization also is our director, John Davis, of the Coptic Fellowship. Major shift of the planet is here now. He'll be touching on the aspects of Dharma, Santana Dharma, the Eternal Way, with Fred Stella will be presenting. Wonderful psychic Ben Darga, When Nations Come Together, will be his topic for the event for Mysteries Revealed, along with Nasser El-Amin Mohammed, the Model Human, Part 3, as we bridge that organization with ours and look further into bridging perspectives and truths of all world religions, beliefs, and philosophies. That's part of our tenets within the Coptic Fellowship. So that's a couple of the other announcements. Other activities, too. We have a Monday evening meditation once a month, Monday nights at about 7 o'clock, I believe, with Barbara Best here at the center. A couple different Tuesdays a month, we have the Message Circle, where you delve into your own spiritual messages. We do have a healing service once a month on a Friday. Claudia leads that one up along with John and other parts. So take a look at the back of your bulletin and program as you look for other activities and events. And also the CopticCenter.org or the Coptic Center on Facebook, you're welcome to become a friend of, and we'd welcome that for activities and updates. It's a labor of love within the Coptic Fellowship as we open our hearts to spread our mission to the world. So thank you very much, and look forward to our fall conference in 2019. And Laura Joy, if you could please come up. We're going to set the tone, continuing on, and set you upward and onward with a closing meditation as we kind of recap the events that have taken place today a little bit and take us into another dimension, hopefully, of space within you, of light, love, and universal truth. Yeah. Please take a deep breath, if you could. A journey to the Coptic lineage and to ancient Egypt of mysteries unfolding before our eyes and within you today. Just a brief sparkle of the divinity of a founder, a little boy that became a man of mastery. Founder Master Hamid Bey, a humble man with a title that brought his wisdom to America, which created the space for today's gathering. As we, the current Coptics, and you, our special guests, carry the torch of light, of wisdom. May we go into the sands of time to that space in the Middle East of Egypt and revisit the places of our chakra system up and down the River Nile. Images you've seen, words you've heard today. May you find the energy within your heart chakra. More wisdom to speak your truth within your throat chakra. As you carry your mission, your path on this world, with this group space in our conference today.
And now, being present in your heart space, feel a vortex of love and light, clockwise, swirling around in your heart space, that heart place, that sacred place. Feel it expand way beyond your body. Know that we are being overlighted with Hamid Bey, Master Stanley, and all of the wonderful guides that came with you today, those seen and unseen. Those who are attracted to the love and light of who you are. For you brought your essence with you today. Feel that vortex of love and light. And now feel it going down, down, down your body, through the floor of the Coptic Center, and all the way. We're being drawn, we're being attracted to Gaia, Goddess Gaia, Mother Gaia. Most beautiful mother there is right now in this time, this place, and this space on earth, the beautiful jewel earth. Go down to the different levels of dirt, of clay, of water, of lava. All the different pauses and spaces between the levels as we go all the way down to the heart and mind, to the consciousness of Gaia. Go as far as you can into that space, that place of sacredness. It's beautiful love, beautiful light, beautiful mother. And we say thank you for coming. And she says thank you back and gives you a message. For she always has a message of love for you. Oh, Gaia. Mother Gaia. Goddess Gaia. And now, a bit reluctantly, but with joy in your heart, you come back up through the different levels, all the different levels and layers of earth, of fire, of water, of clay, of dirt, of space. Oh, I think I passed a bug of some kind there. But all the way coming back to our home on the surface of Earth. And you pop right up there. And we're in that swirling vortex in your heart space one more time. And we feel again, too, that we're being drawn to that divine love and light of the Most High as we pop up now through our heads, through our crown chakra, and all the way through the different layers of atmosphere. Maybe fog, maybe rain, maybe sunshine. And now we're into that beautiful, beautiful velvet darkness. And we find ourselves going all the way past the moon, past planets, past the Milky Way, past the stars, all different kinds of other creation. We go at the speed of love all the way, and you see ahead of you, oh, the divine. So grateful that you are coming there. And you find yourself all the way into the center, the heart and mind, the consciousness of the Most High. And saying thank you to you for coming today. And we feel the most blessed of all creatures, for we bringing to us Gaia and now to the divine, mixed with humanity. And we start her all the way back down again. A bit reluctantly, but we know we can come back here anytime, every time we want to. And so we go back at the speed of love. Again, all the way back past the different kinds of constellations of matter, antimatter, all different kinds of other forms of life created by the divine. Come back again and again. Oh, there's more planets. There's our sun. There's the moon. And here we are right back, coming pop into your body in the Coptic Center. We complete the circle and say thank you to Gaia. Thank you to the divine. For as we are raising our frequency, we are again coming into another high level, high plane of existence. Only one more time that Earth has come through these different levels and layers of higher frequency. But this time we're coming not back again to Atlantis, but at a higher frequency, higher level of understanding, the most complete, beautiful, unconditional love and light. Oh, Gaia, the divine. We're grateful with all the different life forms that are here on the earth, all rising to the higher level of frequency. Feel that vortex of love and light in your heart space.
And it is with that love and that light as you travel through the cosmos in this vortex of new energy. Bridge it with the divine aspect of the feminine and the masculine. As we see golden cords of roots take us back into an uplifted Gaia and Mother Earth as we enter into ascension in the fifth dimension. May the new world begin with love, with light and a higher consciousness. May we be the divine sparkles throughout our days to uplift humanity in these ever so changing times. May we do so with humility, with love, with light, and with service. And may peace prevail on earth. Please settle back in your chairs. Ever so gently wiggle your toes and your fingers. And feel your divinity with hearts wide open in divine expression as we conclude this mystical day full of mystery, optimism, and love at our conference. Blessings. Thank you so much for being here, and we're honored to have you here today as we share this space of a mystery of light, and may you find the blessings of peace within. Thank you.